Many thanks there to Thomas Tuchel. He explained a little bit about his decision to take off Callum Hudson-Odoi there after 30 minutes in the second half. But that's not going to do Callum Hudson-Odoi any good for his confidence, Mario, really.
No, it's not going to help your confidence, but at least now you get an explanation. And Matt, we both are looking at it because normally you don't get an explanation, especially when you have coaches like that. He should be happy that he got an explanation. At least he knows the reason now, because it's normal when you're a footballer, the coach takes you off. And if you like sulking about it, he might not even talk to you. But now he clearly said it. I don't like it, don't get me wrong, because I would prefer him to say it to me personally in the room or, having the private conversation. But now, Callum Hudson, he knows he's been playing all the time, but now he knows where he stands. That means that 1 or 2 good games doesn't mean anything. You need to continue and push on for a longer process, because that is what he wants, that attitude that of a player that when you play, you give 100%. When you're on that field, you play to win and you do the job that I told you to do. And clearly he wasn't happy with that. And that's why he took him off, just to show him the example, because sometimes a coach uses you also as an example. I don't want to be in it, but he does it sometimes, and this is what he did today. He used him as an example. So trust me, there are other players in that team, they will not mess around because they know that Tuchel will take him off.
Matt, I mean, is that the best way to handle a young player like Hudson-Odoi?
I think it was interesting. I would be more interested to know the conversation that he had in the changing room with him before he spoke to the media, because I think that's the most important thing. I think his management skills will then be tested, and I would hope that he would have had that conversation with Callum and just said, "Look, this is why," and even to the point of saying, "This is why I've taken you off. You didn't do this. You didn't do this, and I'm going to go in the media now." And I may well mention that. So don't be upset. Mm-hmm. And that's how if you're open and honest as a manager, I think you can manage in that way. And it shouldn't have too much of an effect on the player's confidence. It happened to me once. I was brought on as a substitute and then taken off. It wasn't quite as early in the game. It was like a time-wasting tactic in the last minute. So it wasn't quite as embarrassing, but it is embarrassing as a professional footballer when you've come on as a substitute and then you get taken off again. But there's a way that you can handle that as a manager, which doesn't do too much damage to the player's confidence. And I would hope that Tuchel is the sort of manager, and he's got enough experience now to be able to handle the Hudson-Odoi situation there and not let it affect his thinking when it comes to perhaps picking the team for the next game. So it'll be interesting to see, just when Callum Hudson-Odoi does start another match, for example.
Well, of course, Hakim Ziyech came on for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Did he do better than Hudson-Odoi, you think, Mario?
No, I don't think for Ziyech, it was kind of similar. You come in a situation where the team needs to have some creativity and open things up. I don't think there was enough time for him to open things up and show the intelligence that he has. Because as a player, what Ziyech is really well and really gifted with is like he's very gifted, and he also reads the game really well to put players into a better position. Could he do that today? No, he could not open things up by the passing skills that he had, because that's where I know him from, coming from Ajax. But then we have seen some, key moments for him playing at Chelsea that you could see him open things up and even scoring himself. But I don't think he came on and could do that. And that's also one of the reasons, because I feel like if a manager make a decision to bring someone on and then chooses it and then brings someone else on, sometimes we have to question ourselves and say, like, did the manager either uses that to maybe make a point of saying, like, look, you got to change your attitude? Or is it also down to a choice that the manager took and think, like, maybe I should have taken somebody else and put someone else on? So that's the question, or like Matt said, let's see first what kind of conversation they had in the dressing room, because in front of the camera, that's not the first pick that I would like my manager to talk about me.
Well, with making that sort of harsh decisions there, Mario, what kind of message is he sending to the rest of the dressing room? And the other part of the question is, could doing something like that backfire on him in the future?
I don't think it will backfire on the manager. I just think that he will put a point, like, now, you understand? Like, it depends on how the results are going to be, of course. Then we can look back and say it backfired on him. But I'm just saying, like, the players now know in the dressing room, he is capable of doing such a gesture like that. I've seen this before, so this is not the first time. I mean, Mourinho did it too when he was at Chelsea. One of the players took him off too, and Matt mentioned it himself. So it can hurt the confidence, but on the other side, if you are a player, so for anybody that wants to be a player, what you do is like you say to yourself, I don't want this to happen to me again. I will not give him the opportunity. And I will have a private conversation if I can. But this is sometimes too early, because if you have one with Tuchel, I don't think that's a manager, you understand. If he already took the time to explain it to you, he doesn't want to talk about it twice. I think he wants it to let go and move on to the next game. Because if you look at Chelsea's program, I don't think this should be their biggest problem, because they got a lot of big games coming on with Atletico Madrid, Man United, and Liverpool. So, and then Everton. So that is not a conversation they want to linger too long on.